transparent and show they believed in open government, they would release the private emails from the representatives and city manager regarding the ballpark as the Attorney General ordered them to.
Thank you, Bill, for the phone call. Appreciate that. Tweet here from Carlos. He says he's recently moved back to El Paso and he's discussed it with the city council. This latest attack is why we can't, he says, let Ortega be mayor. Then there's Joanne here. She says the city thinks it's above local public corruption. The jig is up, folks. The city is playing games. This crosses the Fourth Amendment to read a personal email account. Mrs. Ayala is way off her rocker here, is what they're saying. And then Joanne also agrees with that and says it's nonsense.
Well, I agree with what Bill said. I think that Representative Byrd should release her emails now or step down. You cannot point one finger at the EPISD without pointing four right back at yourself. It's the pot calling the kettle black here, and what you need to do is do what you told the EPISD to. Do the right thing or step down. You are absolutely digging your heels in on the wrong topic here, and you need to release those emails. The truth will come out eventually. You haven't.
Yeah,
you're suing the AG. What are you suing the AG over then?
The reason that I provided my emails. However, what we're suing the AG over is we don't believe that the city government should become the keeper of our personal records. And so all we're saying is to fill in that gap in order to defend my right.
So you're not withholding emails right now? Is that what you're saying?
No,
that the city is not withholding any emails from my lawsuit?
You asked about my emails.
So you're claiming that you're not withholding any?
I believe I provided all of my emails over to the city.
Let's take another call, guys. Let's go to Roy in West El Paso. Roy, go ahead. You're on the air.
Thank you very much. I've got one question. What assurance do we have that these private emails, after this ordinance was put in, how many of them would actually be passed off? How many could they hold back or erase instead of passing along to the city?
Thanks, Roy, for the question.
Trust them, right? That's what they say. Just trust them.
I think the issue is murky. Even if you get the attorney, if you kind of take the attorney general.
It's not murky at all. It's very clear, well-settled law. You've said that so many times.
I'll let you talk.
The issue is that. So the kind of cool thing is when you do an open records request, particularly for emails, what happens is they don't ask me for them. What happens, they ask the city attorney. The city attorney asks the IT director. They do a search through the whole system for anything that meets that. There's no discretion. Nobody has any discretion about it. And so all of those emails get turned over to the city attorney who looks over and makes sure that they meet the record. And so anytime you're looking at personal emails, it's me looking at them saying, does this meet the record? There's a lot more discretion in them, which goes back to the point that I'm making and that Mr. Alshire made is, don't do your city business.
Yeah. The problem is a very poor email retention program, and say they want to keep it to where they have no process for collecting these. They want to say, hey folks, we don't even have any way of knowing when we're officially conducting business. We have no way of knowing when we're not, which is outrageous that they would say that. And so, really, they're making it more murky by bringing this up. They need to understand that it's not about city business, it's a public record, period. End of story. I'm not asking for the private emails.
Are you confident, Steph, that you're going to find something that's going to be substantial or maybe something illegal? Because the first round of emails we found, the city manager talking about city council members having dementia. We found her calling people crazy. So I'm not sure it was real productive stuff, but do you think we'll find something that will show that illegal activity has taken place?
Until we see these emails, no one knows. Right now, it's just a terrible waste of taxpayer dollars. The highest lawyer in the land has said, turn them over, Susie. So you should do the right thing and turn them over, have the city stop this frivolous lawsuit, and this very, very disappointing waste of public dollars.
Let's take another call, guys. Joe in East El Paso. Joe, go ahead. You're on the air.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ayala. It just sounds like you're on a witch hunt. Of course, if you look for anything, aren't you going to find something wrong? And if you say you found those records that the city was pressing on unlawfully prosecuting people in downtown for the ordinances, why haven't you prosecuted already on that? And the highest person in the law is not the state attorney general, isn't it the Supreme Court of the United States? Why are you shooting the messenger of a city who's trying to send itself when you should be shooting the messengers, the people who make these things? Why don't you go to the lawmakers and ask them to really clarify an ordinance that needs to be clarified that's 15 years old?
Thank
Well,
you,
it's
Joe.
true that it's the
Appreciate
role of
that.
the lawmakers of the state to do that. That absolutely is correct. And the point of the matter is that these are public documents, and I filed 2 open records requests for public documents. That's not exactly a witch hunt. And this is what has resulted. The city has gone through wild gesticulations to hide those emails. And now I think this is just another attempt to use city dollars to rehabilitate an image of 2 people who are running for office right now who aren't looking very good, frankly.
All right, Susie, I have a question for you. The ordinance is about 3 to 4 pages long, kind of too long, and it's a lot of reading.
It's so, I mean, the thing is...
And you don't like it the way it's
I
drafted
don't
now,
like
you
it.
want it to change.
The problem is when an ordinance reads exactly the opposite of what your intent is, there's something wrong with
Yeah,
it.
sure.
I
So
mean,
can you explain to us though what else is in it, and also did the city hire outside counsel to
we
help
had an
draft it?
outside counsel that worked with us to draft it. They presented it. It's going through a legislative process. What we would like to do, what I would like to do on Tuesday is say, you know what, here was what our intent is, and sort of trying to make it very kind of prescriptive. You've lost the intent of the ordinance, and so I would like to kind of go back to the drawing board. Again, the purpose is don't do any of your city business on personal email. Absolutely prohibited. And number 2, if you inadvertently get an email from a neighbor or a friend on your personal email, send it over to the city server.
That's not what the ordinance calls for. But the fact of the
That's why
matter
we're
is,
asking to be
El
drafted.
Paso has suffered so long from corruption. We need stronger ordinances and rules against public corruption, not watered down ordinances. It's time that some elected leaders stand up for the right thing and say, hey folks, you have been run amok here by your elected leaders, and we're going to take a stand and be more transparent. We're going to be more open. We're going to go above and beyond, not try to restrict and limit the rules.
Right, which is exactly
Which is
what
what
this
you're saying
ordinance
you're
does.
trying
I
to
mean,
do.
You
what
just don't
the
do that, though.
intent of what we're trying to do, and again, everybody agrees that this ordinance doesn't do that.
But how much
She
money
agrees,
have you
and
paid this
I agree.
outside law firm to do this?
If I can finish my sentence, and so what we want to do, we want to go above and beyond. The problem, I think, in El Paso politics, and kind of where Ms. Townsend has really devolved into, is just because you don't like something doesn't mean that the people that put it in place are corrupt. And so she doesn't like the fact that we are
That's not
pursuing
true at
the
all. That's
ballpark.
absolutely not
And so
true. The
she
fact
has-
of the matter
she
is
has-
I asked for a
so
public
she
record
has
and you don't want to
decided
make it
to
public.
create a
That is
whole
absolutely
theory,
not true.
which she's
It's
not
a
been able
personal
to
attack
support.
now.
Good time to
You're
end things
personal
soon, because
attacking me.
unfortunately
That's not right.
we are out of time. Thank you to both of our guests tonight for joining us. Stay with ABC7 for complete coverage of this Tuesday's City Council discussion on the new Freedom of Information Ordinance. I'm Darren Hunt, and this has been ABC7 Extra. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steph.
Thanks, Susie.